As you can see at the moment, I'm sitting here playing Elite Dangerous in my PSVR2, and I thought I'd check this out. So now the new NVIDIA drivers have dropped and we can play the PSVR2 with the 50 series GPUs. I thought I'd give it a try with the 5080. I've tried it with the Quest 3 and the Pimax crystal so far, so the PSVR2 seemed like the other obvious choice at the moment. I'm back here in the Columbus station, just orbiting Io, I believe, one of the moons of Jupiter. I've set it up, it's almost on identical settings to what we were with the Quest 3 before. So if I go into my settings options now, we're running 100% SteamVR resolution scaling. Obviously that is already a very high resolution of 3400 by 3468 per eye. We've got 1.0 super sampling and 1.0 HMD image quality, and generally we're running on VR Ultra with a few minor adjustments here and there as well. But yeah, we've got 90 FPS in stations. I didn't mention it at the beginning, but it's probably in the title. This is the legacy version of Elite Dangerous, and that's the thing. This runs better than Odyssey, a lot better than Odyssey, and this is the way I choose to play at the moment. If people really want me to try Odyssey as well, then I will do it with the PSVR2 if you want me to, but it's going to run much worse. Let's take off anyway, because I've been sat here for long enough.
Landing coupler disengaged. Clear for egress. Station operates under landing gear retracted. Ensure you have.
So the colours are fantastic in the PSVR2. It's way more vibrant. I mean, it's very good. I understand, I've never been like a massive OLED person by any means, but I understand why people like these headsets. And looking out into space, like the contrast between Jupiter and the background space is fantastic. It's just not as sharp. Like the clarity within the headset of the PSVR2 is just not as sharp as it is on the Quest 3. And of course it's not as sharp as the Pimax crystal either. But it depends where you put most stock of, as I've said a million times. And you look at this, I mean, this is really, it's incredibly vibrant. The colours really pop in this headset. And it does make a difference, and if you put more stock in that than you do in overall clarity and sharpness, then this will be the better way to play Elite Dangerous. The thing is, running at this resolution in this headset is, I mean, it's sort of the limit of what I can do with the 5080. Even though we've got a lot of overhead here in space, on planets and on stations, I'm running quite close to the limits of what I can do. And maintaining sort of native 90 FPS. Now if you don't want to do that, you can push the resolution up even more. If you want to go into reprojection when you're in stations, for example, and you're happy to do that, then you can ramp up the resolution scaling. The problem is, even then you still might not get it looking as sharp as you do in a Quest 3. And that's it. I've said before, you know, the PSVR2 just has a softer overall image than the Quest 3. And that's okay, it's a compromise that you make to get these better colours. Anyway, I'll go and have an explore on one of the moons. Let me just check that out anyway, and then we'll go and head towards the moon and fly around there for a little while. Okay, so this time I've selected one of the moons of Saturn, Tethys. Let's just go and enter Super Cruise, and then we'll head over there. So even the colours of that little blue tunnel that you go through as you enter Super Cruise, even those colours are more vibrant. Everything is more vibrant in this headset. And I will say it does make a difference to how it feels to play generally. But then again, I am losing some of that clarity, as I mentioned. The text just doesn't look as sharp, and there's not a lot I can do really to get it looking sharper. Even if you ramp up the resolution scaling in the PSVR2 to quite honestly, I mean, astronomical levels. It still doesn't get to the point where it's like pin sharp in the way it is in the Quest 3. So that's just, you're always making compromises. I think that's the thing. You just feel like you're always making compromises on any of these headsets. It's always been a little bit like, do you want better colours, better black levels, or do you want a sharper, crisper image? And that's the thing, really. We're always looking for that perfect VR headset, and I'm not sure it exists, because the other thing about the PSVR2 is that it's got this really, really big field of view. Generally, I mean, it is a bigger field of view than on the Quest 3, and so things do look good. So it's, once again, it's where you put stock in this. I mean, I'm playing this perfectly happily. If I didn't have a Quest 3, I wouldn't have anything to compare it to, and this wouldn't bother me at all. This looks great, it really does. So that's the thing, it just doesn't look quite as sharp. And yeah, I could say it a million times, I suppose, but like that text, those numbers straight ahead that I'm looking at now, it's almost like they've got, it's not chromatic aberration, but they've almost got elements of that around them where they sort of blur slightly away. And yeah, we can't really maintain a decent frame rate if I have to go up to the really, really high resolutions that it demands. And I think it's got some kind of a filter over the displays to make it a slightly softer image on the PSVR2, because it eliminates sort of shimmering, aliasing and those kinds of things, and screen door effect, which was always one of the things that everybody was trying to eliminate back in the day. I just really wish that you had some kind of an option so you didn't have to have that to see what it would look like without it. Because the truth is, the actual display resolution in the PSVR2 is very close to the Reverb G2. And that was always incredibly sharp, really, really very, very sharp, that headset was. But this doesn't look anywhere close to what the G2 looked like in that central area. And the problem with the G2, it had a small sweet spot, and similar with the PSVR2, I suppose, like this has also got a small sweet spot. But the difference between on the PSVR2 sweet spot and the Reverb G2 sweet spot was that if you were even at like 1 millimeter out or 0.5 millimeter out, then the Reverb G2 you'd sort of have a few problems, and the eye box, so you couldn't look around too much. Even if you were in the sweet spot, you couldn't look around too much within the display, because that would also impact the clarity. But yeah, I mean, just the contrast, the colours on Saturn there, the contrast in the colours. Oh, I've gone, where am I? There we are. Thought I'd gone off course there. This is the thing, I've got to keep my wits about me here. I'm approaching the moon now. Right, okay, I can't get distracted by the sights anymore. Coming in nice and smoothly towards this planet now. Of course, you can see on the FPS VR overlay there, incredible performance. In fact, I think I'm going to turn the overlay off now because, well, actually no, I'll leave it on just so you can see what it's like when we go down to the surface of this planet. I don't even think, moon, sorry, not planet, what am I talking about? I don't even think I've visited this moon before. Wow, this is a very low gravity moon. 0.01 G. Shouldn't have any issues landing, I wouldn't think. But if I go out in the SRV, we'll probably take off. But ramping up the texture settings on the planet surfaces really makes a difference. As you come in, like, you can still see some stuff popping in and changing and altering as you get closer, but it's so much better. The detail on the surface looks so much better than I remember it being. And it's still a shame they changed the way it looks in VR for Odyssey. I would like it to still look like this, but still have all of the extra elements like the new ships and things that are being added all the time. It really feels like Frontier ramping up development on Elite Dangerous Odyssey and doing a lot of stuff with it now. And of course, if we could get the on-foot sections in VR, that would be fantastic too. Just switching over to a gamepad when you wanted to go out and explore a planet would be fantastic, because I absolutely love playing Elite Dangerous with a HOTAS stick. I think it's one of the most immersive ways. In fact, when I'm not recording video, and I'm using the Quest 3, I use the cutout option in virtual desktop now, so I can actually see my real life HOTAS in a little window just in front of me. So yeah, it makes a nice little difference, and you can add other things. Some people use like a stream deck that was, to assign certain other functions, and then you're able to see that as well. So, you know, it's all these things are great, and the VR experience in Elite is getting better all the time, just because the innovations that various headset manufacturers are making and the software that runs on those headsets, like virtual desktop. There we go, still maintaining a pretty nice 90 FPS. It's always good when the frame timing graphs are like level. They look great, they're all green and they're all level, and we've got plenty of headroom there. So anyway, go out in the SRV and see what it's like to drive around on this planet. Might be interesting. Keep saying planet, I do mean moon, of course. Yeah, already taking off even there. The thing is, when you're on a planet's surface as well, the deep black of space doesn't look quite as black in the PSVR2. It's an interesting little effect, actually. So maybe it's got like a low atmosphere or something like that is distorting the colour in the space. It doesn't look black. It looks grey now I'm on the surface. What have we got there? Carbon, a little bit of carbon. It's just floating off. It's so low gravity, it's just floating off. No, it's not. It's coming down. Is it coming down? I don't know. I've not got all day. Right, but overall, the purpose of this video is just to give a quick impression of what it's like on the PSVR2 with Elite Dangerous now. And it's great. You know, the thing is, when you can run at these native frame rates, and you've got this, I think the surprise is when I've been dealing with headsets which are LCD based, or even sort of the mini LED headsets like the Pimax Crystal. Once you go to the really very vibrant colours of the PSVR2, I understand now. I understand why people like them, because of course the first headsets I had, the Rift CV1, the HTC Vive, they were OLED displays, and you sort of take the OLEDs for granted in a way, but it was always through a film of low resolution. Now we've got the high resolution and the vibrant colours. It makes a difference, especially when coming from a purely LCD based headset like the Quest 3. Yeah, I just wish we didn't have to make different compromises on different headsets, but that's the dream for another time, I suppose. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. I'm going to try some other stuff. I've been doing a little bit too much Elite, I think, lately, so I'm going to go in and try some different things and see how we get on, because yeah, I want to get a variety of different things to do in the VR and various headsets with the RTX 5080 now. So that's the plan. But anyway, we can board the ship, but that's it anyway. So we're back on the ship, looking out and into the depths of space, which don't look quite as black as I wish they did for some reason. It's got to be some kind of atmospheric thing that's going on this planet that's making that not look quite right. But I do appreciate what the PSVR2 can do for this game, but yeah, will it be my headset of choice for this game? Probably not. It probably won't be, if I'm being honest, but it's not a bad way to play at all. But that's it for this video anyway. Thank you very much for watching. Once again, please subscribe if you like more videos like this, and I'll see you next time.